the labor of capturing the mares of Diomedes. Eurystheus said to Hercules,
"You must capture the mares of Diomedes and bring them here."
The name Diomedes means a ruler with god-like power. This Diomedes was the son of Ares, the god of war, and Kyrene, the strong and enduring. He was the king of a Thracian tribe called the Bistones. The mares raised by Diomedes were 4 horses that lived on an unnatural diet of human flesh, making them become man-eating. They were tethered to a bronze manger because they were so wild and full of madness due to their diet. They each had a name: Podargos, swift on foot; Lampon, emanating shining light; Xanthos, the blonde; and Danos, the terrible. Hercules sailed across the Aegean Sea to Bistonia. He overwhelmed the horse groomers as they tended the horses, taking them towards the sea. The Bistones realized the theft and sent soldiers to reclaim the mares before Hercules and the volunteers reached the shore. In order to enter the confrontation, Hercules entrusted the mares to the youth Abderos, the good-natured but naive, and son of Hermes. While Hercules was fighting, the mares dragged Abderos around till he died. In the fight, Hercules eliminated Diomedes, and then the rest fled. After that, Hercules fed to the horses the flesh of their tormentor, and they then became pacified. In honor of Abderos, Hercules founded the city of Abdera. The mares were then brought to Eurystheus, who was so angry that he could not think what to do with them, so he simply told Hercules to get them out of his sight. They were set free and wandered till they reached Mount Olympus, where wild beasts killed them. Bucephalus, the great horse of Alexander the Great, was said to have descended from these mares. Interpretation of the myth with the symbolic elements. These mares, horses, of Diomedes represent the threat from illogical, inverted identities, and how the naive are the victims. It is very common for people to look at things from face value without reassessing a situation when there are aspects that are different to their understanding of normal. This provides wrongdoers an opportunity to use such situations to their advantage, since this provides them with a type of mask which can screen the potential danger until those threatened are in a position where they cannot take evasive actions. A simple thought experiment is to imagine a small fluffy animal that just continues to grow until it is the size of an elephant, and then to everyone's surprise, large, sharp teeth are quickly developed along with a carnivorous appetite. Hiding the danger in the growth phase is a strategy. Diomedes was using the horses in a similar manner in order to bring disaster, since they are large in strength and mass, but susceptible to taking commands without question. The role of Abderos in this labor is crucial, since it shows how someone with good nature, overall good, but naive and unaware, will have a fatal encounter with the illogical, chaotic, and distressed when based upon prior expectations rather than reassess the potential danger. He was dragged to death. Hercules founded a city after him, and it is the only time Hercules is mentioned to having established any kind of settlement. A city name is a living monument that gets maintained by the inhabitants themselves, and therefore the lesson is more likely to survive the ages to come. This means that the tradition of Hercules sought to keep this lesson alive more than any other. A warning to the naive, good-natured youth is that they should not be deceived by prior expectations and the forms expected of danger. Appearances of being harmless or benign are a cover and a mask used effectively, especially by those of the Dionysian tradition, which combines multiple natures into a single persona, acting out each one convincingly in order to ride upon the expectations of the audience for each role selected from this world, a world considered to be a stage. There is the famous quote by Shakespeare, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players," and continues from there, but long before that, there is the quote by the Roman Epictetus, "We are like actors in a play," And the quote continues, highlighting that each person is given a role by the author of the play, and that each should act out their part to the best possible. In parallel, there is a tradition that goes far back into ancient theater that develops a way of life around the existence behind a mask, which can express each person's life so convincingly that it becomes a question of which is the true life. The actor's life, which can choose and travel between all life roles, or that which is confined to a single role. The names of these four horses convey an attack strategy that comes in a sequence, that it arrives swiftly, then dazzling, followed by an appreciation, and finally, the terrible outcome. Extra notes. Ovid, Heroides, 9.69, translation Showerman. Roman poetry first, BC to 1st AD. Did there come to your mind no image of savage Diomedes fiercely feeding his mares on human meat? Pseudo-Hyginus, Fabulae 30, translation Grant. Roman mythographer, 2nd century AD. The horses' names were Podargus, Lampon, Xanthus, and Dinas. Summary. Deception is a key aspect of war that Diomedes understood. He also understood that inverting roles and conventions can be effective. The naive can misplace the benefit of the doubt when natures have been inverted through distorted nurture. Without a constant reminder, the lessons from past will be forgotten, and mistakes will be repeated. Monuments and names matter as a type of societal memory. There are common sequences which can be used to hijack and deceive the naive that have been applied for thousands of years.